Okay, guys, we're going to continue solving the quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Remember, solving, don't forget, solving means like your x-intercept, your zero, your solution, your root, all that good stuff, right? Now, we have different ways of doing it, but today we're going to go out here and cover the quadratic formula. I'll do like 4 examples, and then you're on your own. So if you look at this real quick, the quadratic formula is going to be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so it's not a hard idea. You don't have to remember this. It will kind of how I say, it will kind of what I say, it will give you a little bit of work, but you can remember it, and it will be in your formula, your reference material, okay? It'll be right there in your reference material. Go once, go in twice. Any questions there? We're good? Okay. So we did this one yesterday. Please make sure you know when it's written like this, you don't want to have it where it's equal to a number. You want to have it where it goes ahead and becomes, how do I say it, equal to 0. When I say it's equal to 0, you got to understand that 0, it becomes your 0. You want your root, okay, your solution, all that things. When it says to solve, that's what it means. So looking at this one real quick, you have that part right there. Now you can do it. I would identify my A as 1, my B as a negative 12. A is 1, B is a negative 12, and C is a 20. Now you plug them in here. Becomes that becomes that. 4ac becomes that over 2. Square that one minus this gives me that. 144 minus 80 gives me 64. So then we have 12 plus or minus the square root of 64 over 2. That now becomes cleaned up as an 8 down here. And that becomes now, if you look at this, 12 minus 8 over 2. And then there's a plus 12 plus 2 over, 12 plus 8 over 2. Solve this one becomes 2. Solve this becomes 10. That's it. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad. I'm using my calculator here to do the stuff, to do the work. I believe I did this one yesterday. Let me jump to another one. We cover what the book has here. Okay, we do want to set this one up where it's going to go ahead and be set up to 0. Thank God it is. A, B, and C. Identify your A, B, and C. Plug in your B right here. Plug in your B right there. Your A right there. Your C right there. Your A right there. Looks like this. This one becomes a negative. This one squared becomes that. This one 4 times a 3 times a negative 12 gives me that. So then this part in here gives me 169. Everything else stays the same. Now we have the negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 169 over 6. The square root of 169 becomes 13, guys. So now you have negative 5 plus 13 over 6 and negative 5 minus 13 over 6. Break it down to both individually. And then this one gives me that. This one gives me that. I think we covered this one too. And let's start working out this now here. It's not going to be nice. The reason I know it's not going to be nice is because, look at the numbers. But can we do it? Yes. You have to have your calculator out. You have to have it ready to rock and roll. You can't be there, oh, I can do this in my head. No. Just the calculators are given to you to make your life a little bit easier, you know, so don't be afraid of it. So here we go. It's already set equal to 0. Cha-ching. So here I'm going to go with A. Now I guess I show you one more thing, guys. You can graph all of these. If I graph that, once I graph that, what I'm going to tell myself, this is what I want to look for. Okay, so I'm going to look at the calculator. I'm going to turn it on. I'll go to calculator, turn it on. No. Graph. The equation is 4x squared minus 24x plus 35. Okay? That's like your 0 is equal to. This is saying your y is 0, which is on your x-axis. Look, there's your answers right there. That's your answer right there, guys. Right there and right there. Okay, if you don't know what they are, several ways you can do it. You can go here, menu, graph, your 0 from here to here. There's your answer, 2.5. And let's get the other 0. Menu, analyze graph, 0. We'll go here to here. There's the other one. So those are your zeros, 2.5 and 3.5. Now let's actually do the work, okay? Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid. It's super easy. Again, just have your calculator out, ready to go. So we're going to go here. A is going to be equal to, A is equal to 4, B is equal to a negative 24, C is equal to 35. So the formula is a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we're going to go here with a negative 24 plus or minus the square root of b squared of negative 24 squared minus 4 times a times 4 times a c of 35 all over 2 times 4. Okay. I might be moving over a little bit too much to the right. Let me just move all of this stuff over. Yeah, that'll work. And I'll do this one here and this one here. Where am I at? So now I'm going to move it up and just looking at the math, this becomes a positive 24 plus or minus the square root. I'm going to start doing this in my head, actually my calculator. So it's 24 times 24, this is 576, this part right here, minus 16 times 35, minus 560, over 8. This is 24 plus or minus the square root of 16, right? Yeah, all over 8. 24 plus or minus 4 over 8. Now I'm going to break it down here. I'm going to go 24 plus 4 over 8, and then 24 minus 4 over 8. This right here gives me 28 over 8. This one here gives me 20 over 8. So I'm going to go 28 divided by 8, 3.5. Then 20 divided by 8, 2.5. And if you look at those two answers, that's what we got in the calculator, 2.5 to 2.5. Now, it's time you use the quadratic formula. If you want to graph them, you can graph them. There's no big deal. It's the same thing. Let me come back over here. Let's look at 2b now. And now I'm going to do 2b, and I'll do 2b right there, and I'll do it in blue. So first off, you see that? See how it said equal to 0? All of this set equal to 0, I'm going to graph it. Now, when I have it set equal to 0, that's like my y. You can say y is that. So you're saying, well, y is equal to 0. And that's what you want to do. You want to find your y equal to 0 slash when your x, when you're on the x-axis, your y is equal to 0. So 3x squared, I'll go to calculator. I'm going to double check on the calculator before I do it. Make sure I do it right. 3x squared minus 2x minus 9. So I'm going to go find my zeros. I'm going to go analyze graph, find my 0 right here to here. 1.43, or negative 1.43. I don't know what that is. Analyze graph, 0 from here to here, 2.1. So there are my two zeros. You see them? Negative 1 and a positive 1. So now I want to go back to my paper here, and I'm going to get them. All right? Then I'm going to identify first my A to be 3, my B to be a negative 2, my C to be a negative 9. The formula is a negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Okay, so negative B, in this situation, is going to be a negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times a negative 9 all over 2 times a 3. So then this right here becomes a 2 plus or minus the square root of, this is 4. Ooh, I can't do this in my head. 4 times 3 times 9 on the calculator times 3 times 9. 108 plus 108, right? Yeah, because this negative times negative positive. All over 6. So you're going to go 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 108, which is 112, all over 6. So now you're going to have 2 plus the square root of 112 over 6 and 2 minus the square root of 112 over 6. I'm going to type it in the calculator, okay? And I'm actually going to do that. I'll show you how to type it in the calculator. Plus 112 over 6. Okay. I'm going to turn this on. Go here. Calculator. First, add a fraction. You see the division sign right there. And shoot, I forgot. 2 plus 2 plus control square root 112 over 6. Enter. So 2.09. What do we get on the calculator right now? What do you get? 2.09. Okay, 2.1 is really close. The only thing is this one is, you can't show us more numbers like this one can, so round it for us. Not too bad. The other one is control division sign. You see that? And you go 2. Minus the square root of 112 over 2. Not bad. Over 6. Negative 1.43. What do we get over here? Negative 1.43. Not too bad. So here, I guess it showed more because it could. This one it couldn't, so it showed less. But either way, got the right answers. Come back to our paper here. Whoa, too much. .1-ish, right? Approximately. Negative 1.43-ish. So we got both of them. Check. Do y'all have any questions, guys? This is the part, you know, this is going to be asked to do, you know, I'll do one more, all right? Let's just see. Just keep on trucking through the work. Don't freak out. It's not too bad. Okay. Here are the ones for the book. I'll show you what they do. Okay, so it's saying, hey, if you want to solve this, you can do it by graphing. I'd love to do it. By factor, remember we factor this out. Get the factors of this one, to add up to that. So that one equals 0. By completing a square, I think this one's kind of, you don't need to do it. So I didn't show it to y'all. Quadratic formula. And here. So what it's trying to tell you here is you can choose your way to do it. Let's do the quadratic formula, and let's do the graphing. I'm going to do both of those. I think those are the ones that I would use more than anything. So, let me turn the calculator. I'm going to write that in my calculator. Solving that one. I'm going to turn it on. I do not want those other ones kind of hindering me, plus being in the way. So we're 2x squared minus 17x plus 8. Okay, now I want to show you this. It is set equal to 0, so I can type it in already. You don't have it. You know what? Should I show you one that you don't have equal to 0? You know, we'll just stay there, because the other ones left are still equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to continue that. So then I graph that one, and those are my zeros. Now I can find my zeros by going menu, analyze graph, 0, left to right. There that one is. Menu, analyze graph, 0, left to right. There that one is. So we have two answers, 8 and a half. Oh, that's easy. Those are very easy. So I'm going to come back over here, calculator it up. Now I'm going to do, quadratic formula. Okay, so make sure I identify my A, my B. I think I had more room I did like this. A, B, and C. A is going to be 2. B is a number right here with a sign to the left, negative 17. C is 8. My formula is a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's just plug it in there. So I'm going to go to negative 17 plus or minus the square root of negative 17 squared minus 4 times ac, a to c8 over 2 times 2. This becomes a positive 17 in the front, plus or minus the square root of 17 times 17, which is 17 squared, right? $289 minus, I can't do that one. 8 times 8, 64. Okay. Time out real quick, guys. Okay, so let's go back. Sorry about that. Had a quick interruption. So now we're at 289. Oh, on the bottom we have 4. So we're going to go 17 plus or minus the square root of 289 minus 64. Gives me 225 over 4. Just in case you didn't know, 225 square root of it is 15. So we're going to have 17 plus or minus 15 over 4. So this one becomes 17 plus 15 over 4. And 17 minus 15 over 4. This one becomes on top 32 over 4, which is 8. This becomes 2 over 4, which is a half. And that's actually what we got. Yeah, I remember that now. See? Half and 8. We did pretty good. So, moral of the story is you choose the way you want to do it. Now, let me actually show you. That's what the book's going to show you next. And say, in all this madness, and all this stuff, you can factor, you can graph, you can square root it, you can complete the square, you can quadratic form it. Since we have the calculator, guys, I would say go to this one each time. Cool? Each time go to that one. Just think. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that. You do have an assignment right now. The assignment will let you go ahead and practice this right here, or here, or here. I didn't show you these two. You don't really need those. But here, or here, or here, or here, okay, or here, or last one or here. But I have a practice on that, guys. Be safe. God bless. Happy Easter.